Hey, Skiba News Nation family, and hey, Jake, how's it going, man?
Oh, going pretty good, pretty good. We just celebrated Passover this past week, and we're starting the Omer count. And for those of you who
Nice.
don't know, this is the yearly 50-day count where we number the days up until Shavuot. Right? It's really cool because I have this cool theory, man. You want to hear it?
I want to hear it always.
Well, the theory is that the liturgical practice of meditating on Psalm 119 is a practical way to get our minds meditating on the Torah of the Most High. And so every day we focus on one of the portions of Psalm 119, and today's the first day. So today's the Aleph portion. And my theory is that if you do this pattern, it reveals a cipher of David himself. And David was the man called the man after Yah's own heart. And what's interesting is if you read Psalm 119, which is this acrostic poem, and it has every single section starting with the Hebrew letter of that portion, to me, it's like this cipher to unlock the Hebrew language. And it's super interesting because if you do the 22 count and you restart after 22 and you do 44 and you restart one more time, then that brings you to the sixth letter on the 50th day, which is the letter Vav. And the letter Vav, according to rabbinic scribal practices, is known as the heart of the Torah. And the reason that is if you go equal distance letters from the beginning and the end, equal distance all the way to the center, they denote that by an extra large Vav, because the Vav is the very center letter of the Torah. And so why that's interesting to me and why I like doing this practice of meditating on Psalm 119 is there's really interesting parallels with the Vav portion of Psalm 119 and the sermon that was given on by Peter in Acts. And it's also really fascinating because it's all tied to the heart of David. And I believe it's tied to this mystery of the key of David. So if anybody's interested in that,
Have you ever seen,
send me a message.
kind of off topic, have you ever heard of Jesus Christ Superstar?
Yes.
Do you
Yeah.
like it? I mean, Lindsay loves it, and I love it now because it's become like the original one, not the remake, the 1970s one. And I just asked the guy who played Jesus, Mr. Neely, if you're watching, hello, I sent you an email, and I would love to interview him because who knows how long you have with legends. It's pretty cool.
I had that on vinyl for a long time. I don't know what happened to it though, but I had like the whole JC Superstar on these like a big vinyl thing, but I haven't seen that for a while. But it's definitely the season, for most of the world they're practicing Easter holiday today. And it's a very interesting season because we see all across the world, oftentimes these big events happen following at least the Jewish feast days. For example, October 7th, the attack happened on the last day of during the fall feasts for kind of the Jewish calculation. And so we also saw April 1st, the Artemis mission
April Fools
to the moon. Wow. Very interesting. There's a lot of footage coming out. I don't know if you've seen some of the Artemis questioning footage coming out. They've already been caught doing some green screen shenanigery. I don't even get why they would need green screen in this mission that's supposed to prove that they can go to the moon and back. And yet they're putting footage out that has provable green screen like elements in it. I just saw that today. And also just some of the questions about, what's being advocated and promoted, because as soon as the Artemis mission took off that afternoon, April 1st, we're going to cover it in our news segment today. There were 3 joint world leaders that announced some big movements towards war in Iran, and very interesting timing of all of this. And not to mention how April Fool's Day is shenanigan. I like this. If I shenanan once, I shenanigan.
That's funny.
If I shenan once, oh well. But yeah, it's a time to be alive, man. I mean, they've been going back to the moon, kicking the can down the road for so long, and
but they found the technology, but they failed to mention it to us. How did they do that? It's amazing.
Oh, I blew it. Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. I don't speak words sometimes good.
Oh, words are hard all the time. All of the time.
Yeah, man. How are you doing? How is Opa doing also?
Opa is doing good. He actually stood up today. He had a couple setbacks, but we are trying to get him moved. If you're ever going to go to a hospital and it's Baylor, do not go to Fort Worth, Baylor, for anything because they will hold you captive, literally prisoner there. And I've even contacted the medical board. We're trying to get him to come to the specialty place in Plano. They approved it. They disproved it. It's just so annoying, and I just want to get him out of there. I'm trying to get him out of there in the safest way possible. So if you guys want to, I do have a GoFundMe, and we're trying to get Opa home. I don't have the link for it, but you can find it on my Facebook. So
Yeah, it's really encouraging seeing so many support getting Opa moved, and then the hospital slamming the door in your face, like you said just the other day. He was approved, and now they've disapproved him. And
dude, they made me leave.
I'm gonna be.
They made me leave, or they didn't make me, but they were very much wanting me to leave this one day, and they were getting in my face. And it was the day that they left he has a feeding tube going down his nose. And the nurse left it open and it spilled all over his back. And he's doing this dialysis right now, which makes him really tired. So it went all over his back right after they had just cleaned him. And I was like, this is not good. Like, there's stuff all over. And they were like, oh, no, it's not a big deal. We'll just change him. And I was like, you just changed him. Like, this is insane. You people are insane, but they make you feel like you're insane. That's what the medical system does to people. They make you feel like you're the one insane. It's so crazy, dude.
Man. Well, man, I'm gonna be down there in Texas in 2 weeks, and if Opa's still in the hospital by that time, I think we're gonna go AMA, if you know what I mean, and bust his butt out of there.
Heck yeah, I'm down.
AMAs against medical advice, by the way.
Yeah. We came all the way from when he had his first heart attack. He had it at Disneyland, and then so he legit died at Disneyland and came back, and then we had to leave AMA to come back home to the colony, and we drove him straight to the hospital to make sure that it's better here than it is in Anaheim, for sure. But
wow,
it is a hospital, so be careful.
Well, if you're watching Opa, hold in there. We love you, and hope you recover very quickly and can get out of there. I know it's a trudge, and man.
Well, he made some big improvements today, so just keep praying for him, guys. Keep praying for him.
Right on. All right. Well, Jeremiah, you ready to get into some news lately?
Let's do it, man. I'm looking forward to it. I've been out of the loop because I've been at the hospital every day. So let's go, man.
All right, just to start us off with a lighthearted note here.
You're learning so many important things, and I'm so proud of you.
I think
Normie's finally asking. Yeah, I think you did.
I mean, but it's so true. I mean, I'm so proud of you for finally getting on board, I love Mr. Rogers.
You're learning so many important things, and I'm so proud of you.
So my wife sent me this, and this is something that I'm learning because, as a father of 4, my wife really makes a lot of the fun things I get to do professionally possible. Being able to travel, being able to, just get to have the life we have. Had to have a super woman, and so check this out. She really nailed it on with this. It was never a dress. It was a super cape.
Dude, that's my wife
lady's
too.
Gonna like that one.
All the wives out there, shout out.
Oh man. Well, Trump made such a crazy, I had to check if this was real, man. But apparently he said this on, Easter holiday, right? Tuesday will be power plant day and bridge day, all wrapped up in one in Iran. There will be nothing like it. Open the effing straight, you crazy beastards, or you'll be living in hell. Just watch. Praise be to Allah. President Donald J. Trump. Like, just the fact that our president is tweeting things like this.
It's kind of funny. I mean, if you think about it, but it's messed up at the same time, you know?
Well, for one, it demonstrates the mindset of the Iranian people, I think, which is kind of makes this seem like a sick desperation to get them to just do what we want them to do. But then at the same time, they're waging a holy war, and they're probably not going to play along, which
I just wish we would say out of the war. That would be best, I think. America first. You know, that's what I stand behind. No new wars, please.
Yeah, well, we see footage like this over the past few weeks. You know, there's people reporting meteor showers. Funny how these meteor sightings all over the U.S. kind of look like ballistic missiles being shot down, which is kind of concerning, if you know what I mean. But with that said, this reminds me of some footage we were shown by Nir Shoshani in our last live stream. And if you guys want to go back and watch that, Nir shared some very, very interesting conspiratorial perspectives regarding some of the missiles being shot into Israel. And, just worth listening in on some of the things he said. And I will say that right after that episode, I did a Google Trend search, and Jeremiah, you were being searched by somebody in Israel.
Well, I will say this publicly. I want to say this publicly. I am not suicidal. Everything goes to Lindsay. And if you guys want to start Skiba News Nation after I'm gone, just look into the Mossad. I didn't do it. The time right now is 7:14. It's Sunday, April 5th. So I just want to throw that out there, okay? You guys do with it what you will. It's okay. I got my pistol on my sidearm. You know what I'm saying? Keeping it real.
Look, we're living in these dangerous wartime economy, wartime world series kind of ongoing, and what happened right after the Artemis mission was 3 nations in one day with one unified message. It was Trump, Starmer, and the Albanese, US, UK, Australian, leaders all speaking. And apparently the last time something happened like this, where they in unison had this message, the world changed forever, right? So very interesting. He was announcing that they're going to be hitting Iran harder than they've ever hit them for the coming 3 weeks. And the EU has already told citizens to work from home this week, to drive less, use less energy, and to prepare. And people dismissed it as a routine advisory. Well, the energy lockdown is coming. We already see gas prices hiking through the roof, and we're going to cover a little bit more about that. There's a really interesting segment from Predictive History that we're going to play, explaining how Trump just might be a genius. But not only that, because of the escalation of world conflict and the conflict in Iran, we're seeing troop movements all over the U.S. Here's the port of San Diego just recently, and they're getting ready for something huge, Jeremiah. Look at all of this military vehicles being stacked and loaded for war.
Dude, if you were, what would you do if you saw that in real life? Would that freak you out? Where is that? There's on a bridge.
This is a port in San Diego, California. And yes, there also is footage all over the U.S. of trains and trains of military equipment being shipped.
Oh my gosh, somewhere.
And it looks like we're preparing for an even bigger conflict. And of course, we just had the recent announcement of ground troops, the 82nd Airborne being sent over to Iran. That's 3,000 troops, if I'm not mistaken. And also, some of the statements like this recent tweet that we just talked about, discussing this escalation of conflict. And but in the meantime, we have President Trump joking on,
on Palm
Sunday,
Jesus entered Jerusalem as crowds welcomed him with praise, honoring him as king. They call me king now. Do you believe it? No king. I'm such a king, I can't get a ballroom approved. It's pretty amazing, right? I'm a king. If I was a king, we'd be doing a lot more. I'm doing a lot, but I could be doing a lot more if I was a king.
Okay, so what's interesting is we're about to watch this segment of Professor Jiang, who's I mentioned several weeks back. He's worth checking into. He's got some really fascinating presentations. His channel is called Predictive History, and here's him explaining why the conflict in Iran is happening and how it makes sense in terms of the global oil game to shut down the Strait of Hormuz for the U.S. to actually do well in the future, because they're going to have to get their oil somewhere. European countries and Asian countries, and Russia and the U.S. are pretty much the only
Russia also has a lot of oil. So in other words, if the Strait of Hormuz is closed, if this war in the GCC continues, it doesn't mean the world no longer has oil. All it means is the world is now much more dependent on North America and Russia for oil. And so the global economy now shifts over to North America and to Russia. Okay? So in other words, the United States starts a stupid war in the GCC in the Middle East. It can't possibly win, but it still benefits, because now the world is much more dependent on North America. Okay? Why is Venezuela important? Because America just took over Venezuela in January. Okay? And look, Canada has a lot of oil, and Trump is threatening to take over Canada. Okay? So now let's look at who needs the oil. Well, this map tells you that if you're in the red, you consume more oil than you export. And who are these countries? Well, they're Europe, okay? And they are East Asia, as well as Australia. Okay? So, yes, I understand Donald Trump's an idiot. Yes, I understand that he's going to lose this war in the Middle East. Yes, I understand he's going to destroy the global economy. But for some strange reason, he benefits. And the United States benefits. Because now, Europe and China, Japan, Australia, they're much more dependent on North America for resources, for food, for energy. Okay? All right, food. Okay, so nitrogen is important for fertilizers. Okay? You need nitrogen for fertilizers. And as you can, and what this map tells you is that if you are in the blue or the light blue, it means you produce more nitrogen than you need, so you export it.
So what we're seeing here is not only a smart play in a way to shut down the Middle Eastern oil supply with this conflict with Iran, but at first, Professor Jiang here was saying the U.S. was being idiotic for entering into this war that we can't possibly win with the massive infrastructure that has been built up in Iran, the tunnels and all the things that they've built preparing for this conflict. We can't win it, but maybe that's the point, is to destabilize the world economy so that we start becoming this exporter of oil across the world. Very interesting. So let's continue on here. But what is fascinating, Jeremiah, is there's reports that are coming out. We had recently the oil refinery explosion in Texas that we covered last live stream, but also we have reports indicating that the largest gas line pipeline in the U.S. Has been forced offline after being damaged in Georgia, halting the flow of fuel along a critical route that supplies the entire East Coast. So we're having these layers upon layers of infrastructure war kind of brewing, whether it was an accident, whether it was targeted events. That's up for our audience to decide. But it all kind of tees into these rising prices we see at the fuel pump. And so it also is tied to this global energy crisis shutdown that is looming. We already see it in Europe and parts of Asia, where they're telling people to stay home. But there's also a religious kind of esoteric backing behind this war with Iran. Here's some footage that Tucker Carlson recently pointed out of Pete Hegseth, the Secretary of War, before he was the Secretary of War, kind of trumpeting the need for a miracle series of events in order to establish the Third Temple. And this is the Secretary of War that has, for one, the Crusaders' crosses tattooed all over his chest, which is interesting, considering what the Crusades represented in the conflict of Christianity versus Islam, and the seizure of control of the Temple Mount. So let's look at this.
Look what Tucker just found out.
What is that? That's the Secretary of War right now.
Watch Tucker Carlson realize why the Zionist lobby, led by Norm Coleman of the Republican Jewish Coalition, pressured Trump to install Pete Hegseth as U.S. Secretary of War.
What is going on here? It's enough to make the hair on your arms go up. Did everyone know there was an effort to rebuild the Third Temple and the foundation stone except me? This is considered so esoteric and weird and crypto-historical and religious and kind of culty and what's Chabad, and that no one ever mentions it. But here's Pete Hegseth, football player from Princeton, going on about it in a way that suggests he's thought a lot about it. This is 2018.
And it got me thinking about another miracle that I hope all of you don't see too far away. Because 1917 was a miracle, 1948 was a miracle, 1967 was a miracle, 2017, the declaration of Jerusalem as the capital was a miracle, and there's no reason why the miracle of the reestablishment of the temple on the Temple Mount is not possible. I don't know how it would happen, you don't know how it would happen, but I know that it could happen.
War with Iran is how it could happen eventually, allegedly.
Yep.
Right.
What is that? That's the Secretary of War right now, overseeing the war with Iran.
He used to work with them at
that
Fox
people
News.
fighting it are starting to say actually is about rebuilding this Third Temple. It's the same man.
Well, which is interesting about this war is we were getting reports from the U.S. military that they were announcing from military stage that this was the war to prepare for the second coming of Christ, and that this was the war of Armageddon, and this was the war that is a spiritual, esoteric war. And of course, we all know we're living in a day and age that we're all expecting the end times to, be snowballing very quickly. But
We're
of
all
this
gonna
is very
die.
interesting.
Just kidding.
Yes.
But we are going to all die at some point.
Yes, hopefully, we got
That's
a
why
long
humor's
life to
important.
live, but so what's interesting is we have the U.S. and the historical origin of a lot of these intelligence agencies that kind of closely parallel something we saw in the Marvel movies, and I thought this was very interesting. Oh yeah, shout out JJ.
JJ, what's up, dog?
Yeah, so yeah, just like just got to see how much Rome wants for the land, right? But anyways, here's a clip that is kind of predictive programming in the Marvel movies. Check this out, and it reminds me of Project Paperclip, and some of the images you'll see on screen here really kind of resonate with that.
Accessing archive. Hydra was founded on the belief that humanity could not be trusted with its own freedom.
Oh, by the way, keep in mind the technocratic system dictatorship that we're heading towards, where because of AI and all of the pieces that are fighting for the AI superiority are going to use AI to control the populace, to manipulate how society runs and functions, and that's why this is a pertinent topic.
What we did not realize was that if you try to take that freedom, they resist. The war taught us much. Humanity needed to surrender its freedom willingly. After the war, SHIELD was founded, and I was recruited. The new Hydra grew, a beautiful parasite inside SHIELD. For 70 years, Hydra has been secretly feeding crisis, reaping war. And when history did not cooperate, history was changed.
That's impossible. SHIELD would have stopped you.
Accidents will
They like to
happen.
change history, that's for sure.
Hydra created a world so chaotic that humanity is finally ready to sacrifice its freedom to gain its security. Once the purification process is complete, Hydra's new world order will arise. We won, Captain. Your death amounts to the same as your life, a zero sum.
To awaken the church.
Okay, so very interesting. And what would motivate conservative America to give power to a system that would relinquish or will take control and autonomy away from you? Like, most people that are conservatives are like mindful of end times topics. They're mindful of how there's a coming beast system. They're mindful of things like that, especially now with the Epstein files revealing that there were probably politicians in very high places eating babies, right? And so we're all shocked, but conspiracy theorists are being proven truthful and accurate. Well, how do you convince conservative America to support the very system that will take away your autonomy? Well, it comes with the people that are being put in front of us. Now, check this out.
To harvest the nations and to bring a worldwide revival. So I'm going to ask something. Would you all stand and just, if you're comfortable, stretch your hand towards our president? And even if Reverend Graham, you'd like to lay hands on him, and Pastor Robert.
Is that Billy Graham?
And just come in agreement with me. For 2 Chronicles 7:14 declares, if my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and pray, then I will hear from heaven and forgive their sins and heal their land. So today we humble ourselves and we seek you, Lord Jesus. You declared in Proverbs 14:34 that it said the righteousness exalts a nation. So we declare righteousness over America.
Well, in my view, and I'm not going to judge people's faith, and I love hearing Christ being talked about.
Love AJ.
I think this is a manipulation of American Christians. Of Trump looking at Mark Levin. Let's play it again, 31. Saying, oh, he.
So just like Alex Jones has been right on a lot of things, he's calling out how these figures are being used to manipulate American Christians.
Yeah,
and
they do it by calling you anti-Semite. They do it by many different ways. That's the main one right now, is calling people anti-Semite, which is kind of funny.
Very interesting.
He loves me. I love him. Oh, he's so good. He says nice things about me. Even if people are bad and evil, I still like to when they say nice things about me. So bizarre. In the same speech, we can't take care of Medicare anymore. Now we're a wartime economy. I mean, what? And he's saying push it to the states, but he wasn't clear about it. That alone, devastating. Oh, we didn't start this. It's time for the Middle East to take care of the Strait of Hormuz. What? Of course Israel didn't drag us in. And Lindsey Graham, I'm so happy we're in full war. And the new clips I haven't gotten to, but play.
We can't take care of daycare. We're a big country. We have 50 states. We have all these other people. We're fighting wars. We can't take care of.
Oh, by the way, the request recently was a $1.5 trillion pay package for the war budget, pretty much the defense budget. So that's where all the money's going, and why they can't help with daycare. It's not, not that I would advocate for the U.S. government being involved in daycare, because I wouldn't trust a government agent
sketchy
training up my children in the first place. But it just goes to show, like, oh man.
Of daycare. You got to let a state take care of daycare, and they should pay for it too. They should pay. They have to raise their taxes, but they should pay for it. And we could lower our taxes a little bit to them to make up for, but it's not possible for us to take care of daycare. They should pay. They have to raise their taxes, but they should pay for it. And we could lower our taxes a little bit to them to make up for, but it's not possible for us to take care of daycare. Medicaid, Medicare, all these individual things, they can do it on a state basis. You can't do it on a federal. We have to take care of one thing, military protection.
Jesus taught us so many lessons through his death, burial, and resurrection.
Now, this is them likening President Trump to Jesus himself. Very interesting. Just listen to the language. And this is how they pull the heartstrings of conservative America. I mean, don't get us wrong. In our channel here, we coined the term conservative is the new punk rock.
Yeah.
But we have to point out the
Trump,
truth.
but I want him to do the right thing, but it's like nobody's ever in a political role ever going to do everything exactly like you want. And that's the truth. Would you rather have Kamala Harris? It's like, I don't know. And who knows if they're all controlled. The president's down here and the power is up here. They're more powerful people than the president, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, currently I disavow any involvement in the democratic process. I think now that I've really thought about it, it is an evil system. And the moment we subscribe to anyone, no matter if they're the lesser of two evils, we become compatriot to all that they do that's bad. We become, partners. And anyways, just listen to how she trumps up Trump.
He showed us great leadership. Great transformation requires great sacrifice. And Mr. President, no one has paid the price like you have paid the price. It almost cost you your life. You were betrayed and arrested and falsely accused. It's a familiar pattern that our Lord and Savior showed us. But it didn't end there for him, and it didn't end there for you.
So this is interesting because we have on the other side of the pond, Vladimir Putin talking about how Europe's elites will soon be wagging their tails at Trump's feet. Check this out.
Has something
changed since Biden? They were happy carrying out any order from Washington under Biden. They just don't like Trump. They fought him actively, really interfered in political life, the election process. They were confused when Trump suddenly won. When they mentally liked Biden more, mentally. But Trump's different ideas about what is good, what is bad, including gender policy and some other issues, kind of don't like it. But I assure you, Trump, with his character, persistence, he will restore order pretty quickly. But I assure you, all of them you'll see will soon happen. All right, so I'm just going to pause it. Putin literally goes, soon they'll stand at their master's feet and gently wag their tails. Yeah, Vlad is no BS. But it's just so interesting, Putin's a very interesting dude.
Yeah, how would you like to eat lunch with him? Would you do it?
I mean, as long as I had a translator.
Well, as long as I had somebody tasting the food before me, I think I'd be okay. I feel safe. If I brought my own silverware, I'm doing it. I mean, look at Steven Seagal. He went to Russia, and they're like, Steven Seagal is also a joke, so.
Yeah, or we go horseback riding.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that would be cool. Anyways, I like Putin, guys, because a few years ago he actually was talking about how they are eating babies. It's like he called it a vampire ball, and he told everybody like several years before the Epstein files were really released. And, you know, you had him talking years ago about the flip of virtues, but just like any democratic process or man appointed leader, you know, it's good and bad bag mixed, no matter who it is. So we can't idolize anybody, and we can't, you know, yeah. But I'd eat with them. Hopefully not the vampire ball type eating.
No,
In
he's
Russia,
talking about...
we ride bear.
No,
That's
I think
funny.
Putin. Do you think Putin is an Alex Jones fan? Do you think he watches Alex Jones?
Oh, I'm sure he's seen some Alex Jones.
Who
has
the one that
right?
He's the one that opened a lot of eyes, I think, at the beginning, and then people started fully awakening. But shout out to AJ. You know, all my black friends that watch Alex Jones, they call him AJ, and I'm not even making that up. It's so funny. My homeboy AJ, like you don't even know him.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, this brings to mind the concept of the false light, the angel of light coming, giving information, and we have to be careful because, you know, somebody saying, "Oh, look at them, they're doing evil, bad stuff," could be pointing, you know, what, 4 fingers back at themselves, or no, how's it work? What, 1 finger?
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
fingers.
like look at Peter Nygard. He was a vampire, a literal vampire, to his own offspring. Those are the evil people that he's talking about.
All right, so Jeremiah, this next thing I'm super excited about. I think people are going to find very, very interesting. All right, this is an open source, real world kind of breakdown of world events and maps, and it's basically a real-time global intelligence dashboard. And so I wanted our audience to find out about this and see how to access the monitor. And to go to it, go to worldmonitor.app. And this is great for any of you kind of homegrown conspiracy theorists, news analyst types, because you can not only track real-time flights, but you can, like, here's me in real time clicking around on this amazing app, and it talks about like news reports that are coming out. It has kind of sections that are high alert, and this is all real-time world monitoring with live news. And guys, this thing is so cool. Like, get your cipher set up at home with your big monitor and have this up all the time, and you'll be the coolest guy at school, right? So just super, super dope open
we can get
source.
him as a sponsor. That'd be cool.
World. I don't know who actually made it. It's open source, so it's just pretty much a cool thing. But with that said, let's talk about this really here. I jumped away from my segment here. This fascinating news story of a congressman basically saying, look, I'm not suicidal about what he's about to say. So let's look here. Check this out. And it's about the alien disclosure breeding program. Apparently, some of you guys might have seen this already, but just listen to how he talks about what he's been told and briefed
just
on.
Yet, Congressman, but I'm wondering, you know, kind of how you react to that, because you are connected. You're on the UFO subcommittee. I mean, I'm just wondering what you make of that. Have you heard anything like that?
Well, I'm still a member of Congress, so I can't really comment too much on what Matt said. But I will say this.
Wait, seriously? Are you being serious, or is that
I'm
tongue-in-cheek?
being 100% serious. Okay. I've been 100% serious. I've been briefed by just about every alphabet agency there is. And I'll just tell you this. If they would release the things that I've seen, you would stay up. You'd be up at night worrying about or thinking about this stuff. We just need to disclose it all. I'm sick of it. Well, I was briefed. I'll just tell you this. I was briefed last week on an issue, or excuse me, 2 weeks ago, and it would have set the earth on. This country would have come unglued, I think, if they would have heard all that I heard. They would demand answers, and we need to. But you know, it's never going to get. Unfortunately, it just keeps getting covered up and covered up, and the people that know are dying or disappearing, as the case may be.
Wow.
And for the record, I'm not suicidal, and I don't take risks. So,
I'm glad you said that. I'm speechless.
Hey, that sounds like what you were saying earlier, Jeremiah.
I am not suicidal. I have a great life, a great wife, a great grandfather who's getting better, a great friend, Jake. All of you guys are, I love you guys so much. I am not suicidal. The furthest thing from it. So just know that, just like he said.
Wow.
It's crazy that you have to say that now. And then if you die, people I don't know. It's crazy. It's a crazy world we're living in. I'm just happy to be a part of it.
Very interesting how all this alien disclosure stuff's happening right at the same time as the Artemis mission and supposed World War III being stirred. Very interesting.
I like this comment.
Congressman, we will have you back.
You should be. And I told the president, release it all. And the problem is the people that are around the president don't know and the president doesn't know the questions to ask. A few of us are going to have to get with the president and tell him what he needs to ask and where he needs to look. I mean, we're in meetings and they give addresses and tell locations of items, I'll just say. And the public has a right to know, dadgummit. It's your tax dollars.
Absolutely.
Let's get it out there.
You got.
This is all in the midst of the release of the Epstein files. And I thought this was a very interesting clip here, Jeremiah. It says, I'm sure if the presidents were eating humans, there would have to be somebody who knew about it. And it's these the chefs that all end up dying mysteriously that worked for multiple presidents and high-ranking politicians.
There you go. 11 years, 94 to 05, and that's 7 years of Bill Clinton and 4 years of W. Bush. Yeah.
Here I come. Here I come.
Former White House chef Walter Scheib was found dead after a 5-day search and rescue operation.
And Obama's.
Mexico State Police say after an autopsy, the medical investigator reports Sheep drowned, and his death is officially an accident.
Police found 45-year-old Tafari Campbell dead in a pond at Martha's Vineyard in Massachusetts this morning.
Because he knew that Michelle was Big Mike. That's what I think.
Either that or he was feeding them beef jerky, if you know the reference.
Boarding close to the Obama's estate.
Or he knew Big Mike had beef jerky in his pants.
Yeah, so we also have news coming out. Black Mirror called, they want their props back. This is China releasing footage of their robot wolves running simulated street battles with micro missiles and grenade launchers.
I don't know how I feel about those. Have you seen the ones that do for school shooting and they'll run in the school? Those are cool.
I have a footage of that right after this.
So it's like the good and the bad,
看，我现在已经被狼群包围了。召唤机器狼的方式有几种呢？除了语音控制，还能够通过我手上的数据手套让它看懂手势。除此之外呢，如果想在射击时实时操。
Yeah, this is the modern age of warfare. It's so crazy. I mean, how do you take one of those things out, Jeremiah?
You don't. You gotta get a baseball bat, you gotta break their legs, you gotta beat it as hard as you can. Or you get a golf club and just... I would like to know how heavy those are.
Oh, and so this is our last news segment, but there's been really strange bright red skies in different parts of the world, almost very similar colored, but the sky turned bright red in Western Australia ahead of tropical cyclone Nirel. This is March 27th in Denham, Australia. Look how red it is.
That's crazy.
It's just insane. It's like out of like the...
What would you do if you walked outside and you saw that? If you saw that and you walked outside in the morning, what would you do?
I'd shoot a music video.
Yeah, I mean, I know you would. That's actually pretty
But
perfect
I mean,
for that.
that was Australia, and look at the same scene happening in Greece. This is a rare red sandstorm that swept through just a few days later in Greece. It looks like the same exact kind of red effect.
Yeah, like a filter.
So, yeah, Mars movie. But man, what a crazy time, Jeremiah. Like, we're seeing the signs all over. We're seeing the escalation of world conflict. We're seeing the advancement of technology. And then we're seeing, April Fool's jokes being shot to the moon and back. And
I can't wait to go down that rabbit hole, because I've been in the hospital for too long, and that's probably why I'm interrupting so much, because there's so much that I want to know and stuff, because you get pretty everything feels like one long day in the hospital. If you know. But yeah, I didn't see anything about that. I've just seen people shooting footage of the rocket thing, whatever it is, and it going up, but I haven't seen any of the footage, so maybe you'll have to break it down.
We'll have to have like Josh Keefe come on, or one of our our FE friends, get Flat Earth Dave on here to break down some of the footage, because I for sure have seen a few breakdowns on. They're already like showing footage from Artemis that has like green screen effects happening real time. Like he has like a plush doll, and then you can see like letters behind the doll, and this is like the footage they're sending us. And then the picture of the moon, like they take a picture of the moon from space heading towards the moon, and it's like super, super tiny. And yet here on Earth, apparently our the magnification of our atmosphere really makes it blow up. But anyways,
they never told us that they refound the science to get back to the moon that they lost for so long. Isn't that interesting? Like, I don't know why that's not talked about more. It's like, you guys said that it was lost, and now you're able to get through it. But why okay, whatever. I mean, it's so fake, and I think it's waking people up because it is so fake. But yeah.
Well, with all that said, I think the most important tidbit that I shared today is go check out the worldmonitor.app website, guys. It'll really keep you up to date in some of these pressing news topics and global tensions. Just because I think it's an amazing open source tool. And with that, it's also feast season. The spring feast season biblically is around. So Hag Sameach to all of our feast keeping friends out there. And let's laugh some, Jeremiah.
All right. Well, here we go.
Some people might find some of these jokes offensive. If you are one of those people, I'm sorry that you cannot take a joke. Viewer discretion is advised.
My cat explaining why he is the owner of the house, even if I pay for everything. Charlie's over here. He knows.
I love how Near translated that song for us. What is
I
this?
love this. It's called making
Jewish?
inappropriate shirts.
Jeffrey
Damn
Epstein.
Jews.
I've had it up to here with anti-Semitism.
That was a Of course, we cannot forget about Hydra and his new friend. So it's
Down syndrome has wanted to be a cop since he was a kid.
You know why I pulled you over?
Because I was speeding?
No, because you're black.
Hey, buddy. We're going to Israel. Tel Aviv. Yeah, you can kiss the wall. You can see Benjamin Netanyahu. Yep. April Fools.
Remind me to tell you
it
about
was a joke.
Netanyahu late in a exposing my cat's thoughts. This is every cat's thoughts.
top of the in-run. No skis, just dress shoes and faith. This is straight up unbelievable. He pushes off, and he is flying down the track like it's polished marble. 90 already, approaching the takeoff.
I'm going to get you a hat like that.
No, you're Jewish.
They're
You're Jewish. Oh, you're Jewish. I knew it.
Bro, here comes Adolf right now.
How much is this?
This is, hold on. It's free.
You have anything cheaper?
My cat is racist. Watch it. Dude, this is Nephilim head. What is that all about? I had to put this in there for you, Jake. I know how much you love Shalom, kitty.
Ozempic for cats? Now my
This is
cat's
real,
gonna be
dude.
hotter than me?
You can get
Now my
Ozempic for
cat
your
can eat
cat.
whatever he wants. He
Gila
just ate
monster
a big
poison,
bug,
man.
And he's gonna be snatched for summer? And I know he's gonna qualify for it, because last time I went to the vet, the guy was like, the baby is a little bit fat. He called my cat the baby. That's not my baby, that's a grown man. Also, he has sleep apnea. If they made little tiny BiPAP machines, he'd already be hooked up. So you know the insurance will cover the Zippy.
This one's for you, Jake.
Hey, look at my. It kind of feels
Look at
like that. The busted headset.
The Diary of Ben Shapiro.
Diary of Ben Shapiro. Oh no. Oh no.
Okay, Oklahoma. I know your weather's bipolar and everything.
The balls on this guy to talk about the weather in Oklahoma?
I'm abroad right now, and they have this new thing called Pepsi Black. I've never tried it. Gonna give it.
Do you get it? It's a smoke alarm.
Oh no.
You know, there's a.
Oh man.
How many of you guys have heard that you know, a certain person forgets to put batteries in their smoke alarms, and they just get used to it, I guess, because when mine goes off, the cats won't let me. I mean, it annoys me, but it also annoys the cats, and they like freak out and stuff. But if you know, you know, and it's an inside joke for us. But yeah, man. Anything else?
Yeah. Well,
got
yeah,
more?
just want everybody to know this Friday, we're going to have a special interview with Jay Dreamers. We had an epic interview, and he went so deep on Plasmaverse and some crazy esoteric depths about the electromagnetic drawing up of the North Mountain in the polar region, and just amazing, very intriguing, interesting stuff. And he also
blew
is
my
yeah, very cool guy. So you guys look out for that special coming up this Friday. So make sure if you're not subscribed, subscribe, because Jay Dreamers is cool, and we look forward to sharing that conversation with everybody.
Yep, it's a really good interview. I do want to update everybody. The TrutherCon website has been updated. Go check it out. It's just get your tickets now, because I'm sure pretty soon here it's going to be pretty limited. Scan that QR code right there, and you can or just take a screenshot, and it should take you right to the website. I hope so. Let me test that since we're live. I hope it doesn't take me somewhere else. Let me double check.
All right. Also, I want to know what y'all's high score on UFO Flappy Bird is. If you want to find out, go to the website and play UFO Flappy Bird and drop your comment on what your high score is.
It's right there. It's right by that. And I'm not supposed to be giving that away, but it is fun and it's awesome. And the people who helped me build it, they're like our best friends.
Oh,
they're
there's more secrets
cool.
apparently.
Yep. I was
I'm so excited.
notified. Me too. So everybody go check out the TrutherCon website and book your stay, book your trip. And yeah, we'd love to see you there. It's going to be even more epic than last year. I have some renderings that I'm going to share shortly. We're going to have a comedy night. There's a comedian on the website now, a pretty big one. And yeah, go check it out. And yeah, we love you guys. Keep praying for Opa and that he recovers quickly and that he continues to fight hard. And he's a fighter and he won't go down easy. So he's got that German blood. So keep praying, man.
Will do.
Anything else, Jake? Any last words?
That's all, guys. Have a good evening, and we'll see you guys this coming Friday in the stream. We're gonna have a great show for y'all.
Sounds good. All right, guys. Adios, amigos. We love you. And Opa loves you. He told me to tell you that he told me to sing this for you. Happy trails to you until we meet.
We meet again.
Adios, amigos.